Welcome to the Saturday Cup of Joe podcast. This podcast is dedicated to EAS employees of the U.S. Postal Service and members of the National Association of Postal Supervisors. So, pour yourself a cup of coffee and join us for today's episode. And now, here's your host, Robert Wakefield.
Good morning, Branch 32, and good morning, Naps family from wherever you're listening. Last week, we had listeners in Virginia, Tennessee, California, New Jersey, Arizona, New York, Georgia, Illinois, and that's just to name a few of them. We also had a listener in Sweden. That's pretty awesome. Sweden. Well, welcome in. Glad you got to listen in wherever you are in Sweden. I'm Robert Wakefield, president of Branch 32. Thank you so much. Got a great show lined up for you. So let's go ahead and let's pour our first cup. This season, we pause to reflect on the spirit of gratitude, and we're especially thankful for you. To our members, to our postal family, thank you for trusting us, growing with us, and standing together through every season. From holiday mail to everyday moments, your dedication inspires everything we do. You remind us that service is more than a job, it's a legacy. The Nashville Post Office Credit Union, people helping people since 1925. And for our first cup this morning, I want to give you three words that is very important for postal EAS and NAPS members today. And those three words are zero false scans. Now, if you're working for the Postal Service right now or you've been around long enough, you know these words aren't just technical words. They're personal words, they're ethical words, and they're also urgent words. So, grab that cup of Joe and settle in because we're going to talk about some clarity of these words in today's podcast. Let's start with the first word, zero. You know, zero means none, not one, not today, not tomorrow, not under pressure. When you think about it, it's the line in the sand. It's the boundary that says, I will not compromise my integrity, not even once. Because here's the deal. Once you cross that line, even for what feels like a harmless fix, you've opened the door. And suddenly just this once becomes just this week. And before you know it, you're trying to defend numbers that don't reflect the reality of the situation. And the thing that I like about zero, it's powerful because it's clear. It doesn't leave room for interpretation. It doesn't bend under pressure. And here's the best part. It protects you. So zero is the first word that I wanted to talk about. So let's talk about false. False means it didn't happen. It's a scan that says delivered when it wasn't. It's a timestamp that says on time when it wasn't. And here's the hard truth about it. A false scan is a false witness. It's not just a technical error. It's just a lie. And as I mentioned before, lies don't protect us. They expose us. You know, we've seen instances where we hear supervisors say, well, I was just trying to fix the numbers. I was trying to make it match, and everyone else does it. But when that audit comes around and the investigation starts, the people that even said those things, they're nowhere to be found. And once your name is tied to a false scan, that's hard to untangle. Because in this system, your scan is your signature. Let's make it plain. You wouldn't sign off on something that wasn't true. On an important document, you wouldn't put your name on that. Your scan is your digital signature that you are doing what you say you are doing it, and you're doing it in the place where it says it's to be done. So, false is the second word in today's 3-word podcast. And now for word number 3, scans, your digital signature. Here's the part that really hits home. Your scan is your signature. And every time you scan, you're signing off on a truth. And just like I mentioned, just like you wouldn't put your written signature on a document full of lies, you shouldn't put your digital signature on a scan that isn't real. You know, that scanner that you are holding in your hand is not just a tool, it's a statement. It says, I stand by this. And if you can't stand by that, then don't scan it. I know that the pressure is real. I know numbers matter. Reports matter. Let me tell you this. Your integrity matters more. I just want to have a culture where, saying no to falsification isn't punished, but it's praised. That would be great. Where supervisors are trained to lead and not just comply. Where the truth isn't just expected, but it's also protected. And you know what? That starts with us. It really does. It starts with us in every scan that we do. It's with every decision that we make. With every moment that we choose courage over convenience. There's a spiritual side to this too. I also host a podcast called the Two Brothers, One Bible podcast. And we talk about scriptural things. And this came up today that I'm reminded of Proverbs 10, verse 9, which says, whoever walks in integrity walks securely, but whoever takes crooked paths will be found out. How about that? That's not a promise. That's not a threat. That's a promise. Integrity is your shield. It's the thing that lets you sleep at night so that you can look at your employees right in the eye and you can lead them with confidence. So, here's a challenge that I want to give every one of us this coming week and from now on. If you're being pressured to falsify scans, don't just react. Respond with clarity. Say no. And then contact your NAPS president. If you've already said yes to something that you regret, well, let's start with honesty. Let's start with some help. And you can start with us. You can contact your NAPS president and get that taken care of. And if you're in a position of support to someone else, if you're an upper manager, then please support them. Be the voice that says you don't have to compromise your integrity to keep your job. That is so important. So, 0 false scans. It's not just a motto. It's a mandate. And I want everyone who hears my voice today to take this seriously and not get caught in this trap of falsifying scans. To review, 0 means none. False means tell the truth, don't lie about it. And scans is your digital signature. 0 false scans. Let's keep the conversation going. I'd love to hear from you. I want to let you know that we are here for you. Make it your chance to reach out to us. You can send us an email and tell me your story. I'd love to hear it. We won't put your name or where you're from on the air. We may say your state, but that'd be it. But I want to hear from you. What are your scanning issues? What are you having trouble with? Respond to this. You can even, I tell you what I'll even do. I'll even give you my cell phone number. You can send me a text. 931-215-8936. 931-215-8936. Tell me your story. I'd love to share it here on the podcast. And I promise, like I said, I won't be sharing names or anything like that. I'll just say from Texas. Well, Texas is a pretty big state, so there's a pretty good chance we won't know who that is. But you listen, we all have stories. We all have stories to tell, and it's important that I get to tell yours. So that's going to do it for our first cup. Let's go ahead and pour that second cup. Want your savings to do more than just sit there? With a money market certificate from the Nashville Post Office Credit Union, you'll earn competitive returns while keeping your money safe and sound. You'll enjoy higher dividends than traditional savings, flexible terms to match your goals, and it's federally insured to give you peace of mind. It's smart, secure, and built for postal professionals who plan ahead. The Nashville Post Office Credit Union. People helping people since 1925. And for our second cup today, I wanted to pause and honor the men and women who have worn the uniform of our nation. Veterans Day is coming up on Tuesday, and I wanted to dedicate this second cup to those who served and those who continue to serve, and those who've brought their service home to the Postal Service. You know, Veterans Day is not just a date on the calendar. It's a moment to say thank you, to recognize the courage, the sacrifice, and the commitment of our military veterans. Whether you've served in combat or you were in a support role or in a peacetime readiness, your dedication shaped the freedoms that we enjoy today. And for us in the Postal Service, that gratitude is personal. As we don't just honor the veterans, we work alongside them. So today, I want to say thank you to every veteran that is listening, to every EAS employee who served, and to every branch member who wears both a USPS badge and a military ribbon. Thank you so much for your service. And I hope that you have a wonderful Veterans Day. Thank you so much for being here today on the Saturday Cup of Joe podcast, presented by the Nashville Post Office Credit Union. I'm Robert Wakefield, and remember, every great weekend starts with a great cup of Joe. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for tuning in to the Saturday Cup of Joe podcast. Please note that the views and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of Robert Wakefield and do not necessarily reflect the views of the National Association of Postal Supervisors. We welcome your questions and comments, so send those to SaturdayCupOfJoe@gmail.com.